West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. I'm on half the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, Machel St. Patrick Hewitt. And as the thumbnail suggests, this is a little short video, looking at the recent West Indies women's T20 series versus South Africa women. Now, you know by now that my mantra on the Caribbean Cricket Podcast is that you're not a real West Indies fan if you're only focusing your conversations, your content, whatever it may be. If your column inches and loudmouth inches are taken up just by talking about the men's senior team, you're not serious. Okay, it's just as important to focus on our women's side, the age group cricket, etc., because that's what West Indies means. It doesn't just mean the men's senior side. And a couple of weeks ago, I did a video prior to the T20 series versus South Africa women. I did a video saying I think the West Indies women's team is improving. Now, I know that narrative doesn't suit certain people in the region, because certain people in the region have been at pains to point out that Shane Dietz don't know what he's doing, and we got knocked out of the World Cup qualifiers. People have memory hold the fact that we got to the semi-finals of the last T20 World Cup, and it's just been narrative. Now, none of that means that Shane Dietz isn't above criticism. Everybody in West Indies cricket can hold a cuss at some particular stage. But when I did that video a couple of weeks ago, after we lost the ODI series to South Africa 2-1, bear in mind that at that point, we had lost 3-0 at that point, that meant that we'd got knocked out of the World Cup qualifiers for the ODI World Cup, lost 3-0 in the ODIs to England, lost 3-0 in the T20s to England, and then lost 2-1 in the ODIs versus South Africa. And I decided at that time to do a video going, I think we might be improving. And if you haven't watched that video, you need to go back and watch it to understand why I was certain that was the subscript that people might be missing around the women's side. Anyways, after that video was made, we then played South Africa women in a T20 series. And it was a pivotal series because remember, there is a T20 World Cup coming up in England next year, right? So all T20 bilaterals count for the West Indies women's team. And I don't know what people's expectations were beforehand, but I'm delighted that the women won 2-1. And it was a deserved 2-1 victory. It wasn't like we sneaked the victories and snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. I genuinely think that when you look over the piece, the women did the region proud with that series win over South Africa women. Now, just to recap the results in case you're not familiar with them. So in the first T20, we lost by 50 runs. South Africa batted first and made 183 for 6. And when West Indies came to bat, they could only muster 100. They batted out the overs, but could only muster 133 for 6. In that particular match with the ball, the standout was Jazara Claxton, 4 overs, 3 for 39. And then with the bat, the standout was Janilla Glasgow, 53 runs from 44 balls at the back end, batting at number 7, 53 runs. Her maiden 50 half century, 53 from 44 in a losing effort. And at that point, most people probably in their heads would have been like, well, West Indies are going to just take licks in this series. We just lost by 50 runs. It's unlikely we're going to be able to come back and challenge South Africa. In the second T20, West Indies won by 6 wickets with 4 balls remaining. Again, South Africa batted first. This time, though, the bowlers stood up. South Africa could only eke their way to 113 for 6 at the end of their 20 overs. And West Indies chased that down for the loss of 4 wickets with 4 balls remaining. Now, again, in that particular match, the standout, when South Africa batted, the standout with the ball, Afi Fletcher, 4 overs, 2 for 13. Karishma Ramarat, 4 overs, 2 for 25. Hayley was obviously super economical as well, 4 overs, 1 for 15. But as a whole, the bowling unit stood up. Jazara Claxton, 4 overs, 1 for 27. Shanisha Hector, who went out to Australia ages ago. Remember Shane Dietz sorted out that, was it Tasmania, sorted out that group of cricketers to go out and play club cricket in Australia. Shanisha Hector was one of them, and she's only just turned up now. She bowled 2 overs, none for 12, right? So the bowling unit stood up. Then when we came to bat, Hayley led from the front, 63 not out from 56 balls, with a few people chipping in and around her. Kiana Jones is 17 from 21. And again, Janilla Glasgow, this time batting at 6, 15 from 17 at the back end. So that leveled up the series, and it was all to play for in the final game. And in the final game, West Indies put in their best performance of the whole series. Again, South Africa batted first. They put up 147 for 6 in their 20 overs, and West Indies managed to chase that with 6 wickets remaining and 9 balls left to take the series 2-1. This time, when South Africa batted, the standouts with the ball: Karishma Ramarat, 4 overs, 2 for 18. Afi Fletcher, 4 overs, 2 for 28. And then the rest were relatively economical. Again, Hayley, 4 overs, 1 for 26. Shanisha Hector bowled her 4 overs, 1 for 38. Jazara Claxton bowled her 4 overs, none for 36. And then when we came to bat, obviously, given that we were chasing 148 to win, Hayley was always going to be critical in it. But what I loved about this one was Hayley didn't see it through to the end. Hayley was dismissed when the score was 114 for 3 in the 15th, at 15.2 overs. Now, all of us have seen in the past that when Hayley goes, we're like, well, that's the game done. But Shemaine Campbell stood up and was counted, 42 from 38 balls. Chanel Henry at the back end walloped some 4s and 6s, 20 from 11 balls. But obviously, Hayley, the standout, was 65 from 50 balls to seal the series, and a great win for the West Indies women. So when you look at that as a series, first things first, you take the W. When there's a W and it's a rare W and a series W at that, in a series that we weren't the favourites to win, you have to champion it. You have to big up your chest, puff up your chest, and boost up the ladies and say, well done, we're proud of you. Thank you for making the region proud. It was a top-notch series. Well done to the comms team and all of that as well. It was a top-notch series to watch. And the crowd, it was good to see a crowd in Barbados cheering on the team. And it just felt good. It felt wholesome. The whole thing just felt wholesome. Really glad for Hayley and Shane and the rest of the team, etc. But there was just some standout moments for me, which again makes me think there's some positives to take forward. Are we set to be world beaters anytime soon? No. Will Deandra Dottin make this team significantly better when she comes back? Yes. If Stefani Taylor could stay fit for a significant amount of time, would she make this team better? Yes. However, again, we saw a series where certain young guns are putting their hands up. Janilla Glasgow with a maiden 50, putting her hand up. Jazara Claxton bowling 4 overs after 4 overs, 4 overs after 4 overs after 4 overs, putting her hand up. Hey, listen, Jazara Claxton, she might be the truth, you know. This girl might be the truth, okay? She is easily already at the age of 19. This seems like hyperbole, but I think there is an argument to say that at 19 years and 111 days at the time of recording, Jazara Claxton might already be the best seamer in West Indies women's cricket in right now. Okay, in this series, she bowled. Where is she? In this series, Jazara bowled all of her overs, okay, bowled her whole allocation, all 12 overs across the 3 matches. She took 4 wickets. Obviously, we'd like the wickets column to be high. She took 4 wickets at 26 apiece with a best of 3 for 39, economy of 8.5. This girl has, listen, she's got the array, you know. She got the slower ball. She's got the quick Yorker. She's a natural athlete. We got to develop this girl because she actually, you know how we've been crying out for the last 2 years? We're like, we need a seamer up front. We need a seamer up front. Up until I've seen the arrival of Jazara Claxton, if you'd asked me who's our best seamer to bowl up front, I would have said give the ball to Deandra. But if Deandra can come back into this side, there is an argument to say that Jazara Claxton is now our best seamer. And in fairness to Aliyah Elaine, I actually think Aliyah Elaine has improved massively over the last 3, 4, 5 months as well. She's far more reliable with the ball than she once was. Okay, so there's something of an inkling of a pace attack there. I don't want to put the world on Jazara Claxton's shoulders, but she deserves high praise. We must also point out Afi Fletcher and Karishma Ramarak. There's a couple people who, when I've done women's videos in the past, have gotten the comments and said, it's time to move on to Plafiana Millington, the leg break bowler out of Guyana. Ramarak shouldn't play all the games. What about Munasar and them lot? I still am of the opinion that we should not be discounting the experience of Afi Fletcher and Karishma Ramarak. I know Afi's about 38 and a half, right? By the time the World Cup comes around, she's going to be 39. But can you realistically say that Afi isn't the best leg break bowler in the region? She is. She just simply is. In this series, she bowled all her allocation across the 3 matches, 12 overs, 5 wickets, and an average of 16, economy 6.75. You just can't justify dropping Afi. You can start to give Millington or whoever it is that they identify some games, yeah, here and there, but Afi is still going to be our go-to leg spinner come the World Cup, right, in England. Similarly, Ramarak, yes, there's people like the Munasars and the Zayda James and the this and the that's, right? But Ramarak's experience can't be discounted. Again, she bowled all of her allocation, 12 overs, 4 wickets at 18 apiece, economy 6.08. And then when you add Hayley on top of that, you're basically saying in a T20, that's 12 overs already locked in. 4 from Afi, 4 from Karishma, 4 from Hayley. That's your 12 locked in. You only then need to find 8, which could come from a mixture of a Claxton, Alira Lane. If Deandra's back in time for the T20 World Cup, which she should be, you throw Deandra into the mix, and all of a sudden, you've got a team that can bowl 20 overs. I'm not saying they would restrict every side, but I look at that lineup of an Afi, Karishma, Hayley, Claxton, Elaine, Dottin, and I say, yeah, I'd put you up against most teams in the world and expect you to be competitive. Or maybe I'm wrong. If you think I'm wrong, get in the comments below and let me know. But that's what I think. If again, there's a lot's dependent on Dottin coming back. And then with the ball, with the bat, obviously Hayley led from the front as usual. This series, she scored 147 runs in the series at 74 apiece with 2 50s. There's a strike rate of 120. There's nothing we can say about Hayley. Like, there's no more superlatives to ring out about Hayley. She just gets the job done. She is the queen. She just gets the job done, and she leads from the front. We salute as always, but what more can I really say about Hayley? She's absolutely magnificent, right? So that's Hayley. But what I liked in this series was 2 of the more experienced campaigners put their hand up when it mattered. In the final T20, Chanel Henry put her hand up and took us over the line to win it actually comfortably in the end with the quickfire 20 in the last T20 match. Lots of us would still want Chanel Henry to be a bit more consistent. We still want Chanel Henry to be more aware of game situation and not just believe that she can hit out from ball 1. But when it mattered and it was a clutch and it was the final T20, she came through. Shemaine Campbell, similarly. I've been raising my eyebrows at Shemaine Campbell over the last 6 months because I'm confused about what her role is. I think I said this in the last video. But again, she came up clutch. When Hayley got out in that last T20 and everyone was like, well, boy, we're going to lose, Shemaine Campbell came up clutch with a good knock, 42 from 38 balls, cleared the boundary rope, not cleared it, but hit lots of more boundaries and even hit a 6, which isn't, to me, that's not Shemaine's game. But she showed she's got that in her locker. And that 42 impressed me because it made me think, okay, Shemaine, this is what I've been asking for. You're a senior pro in this side. You know how to anchor. You also know how to guide the team through. I just want some consistency or more consistency from Shemaine, because at the end of the day, Shemaine is, without Deandra there, Shemaine has to understand that at 32 years of age, soon 33, there is an expectation that she plays more significant innings for the team. Or maybe she's not ready for that role, but there is that expectation all the same. There wasn't really many other contributions from anyone with the bat in the team. I was intrigued to see Shanisa Hector come in at number 3 for a couple of matches. Obviously, I think Shane Dietz said when 4 of those ladies went out to Australia, that it was about them learning how to bat in pressure situations as well as bowling. So that was quite interesting to me to see her bat 3. I'm not sure I want to see that again, but interesting all the same. Kiana didn't really fire, but that's okay because she's very much a streak player. Grimman didn't really fire, but that's okay. She's a youngster. Janilla obviously got that maiden 50, which is great. And again, it kind of links to that last video I did on the ODIs. The biggest question mark for me is, where are we playing all of these players? Where does Grimman bat? If Grimman is now in the side, what's her regular position? If Glasgow is now in this side, what is her regular position? Is 7 or 8, 6, whatever it is for Janilla, is that too low? If Aaliyah's in the side, where's she batting? If Claxton's in the side, well, is Claxton in the side? Like, is she now like the go-to bowler? Hector are we now going to see Hector going forward? And what about Shabika Gajnabi? She's yet to deliver, but do we persist with her? She played 1 game in the series. Again, it looks like Shabika is trusted by Dietz and is an integral part of the setup. She's just not putting up the numbers. She's not putting up the numbers that suggest that we should be persisting at this stage. But maybe there's a player there and we just haven't seen it. Okay, so lots going on for the women's team. Like I say, a good piece of cricket played by them, a series win. We must never turn our nose up at any series win in West Indies cricket. They're few and far between. And when they do come, it's important that we celebrate and we recognise the achievements. I'm not sure what's next on the women's horizon. Let me just see if I can find out. Bear with me, people. West Indies women. Let's see what we've got next. Obviously, we've got women's CPL coming up. But I'm talking about the international setup for the women's senior side. So according to this, sugar. Hold on. West Indies, sorry. According to this, people, so I was looking at the men's side there. I nearly panicked when I saw that. Where are we? I don't even know if this is correct. I hate when I go on that ICC thing. It never makes sense. Right, so according to this, for our ICC Future Tours program 2025 to 2029, in our Future Tours program, for this sign, it says that we have got India, Australia, Pakistan, Sri Lanka at home, South Africa, Bangladesh, Zimbabwe, and Ireland away. That's in the Future Tours program. I wish I'd looked at this before I went live, because now it looks like I don't know what I'm doing, but I actually don't know. Someone's going to get in the comments below and let me know, because maybe this actually just showcases why women's cricket is still yet to be where it needs to be, because I'm trying to find this thing and I can't even find it easily. I can't just go onto Google and go, when's West Indies women's fixtures and when our next fixtures are, and just find that easily. Let me see. I don't know why I'm checking ESPN. ESPN can't help me either. They probably don't know just as much. Okay, here we go. So see, even if you go on like the ESPN website, they don't have any West Indies women's fixtures slated until the World Cup in June 2026. Well, that's wrong. So you see what I mean, people? It's even hard to know what's next and so on and so forth. I mean, they've had an extensive amount of cricket. We've had England away for 6 matches, South Africa at home for 6 matches, which is great. But I'd love to know what's next. If somebody does know, get at me in the comments below. I know we've got Australia and we've got some Test cricket coming up next year, but what's next? It's June, it's July. After women's CPL, what's next? I'm probably supposed to know, and I probably do know, and it's just gone out of my mind. But somebody tell me the fixtures as to where we're going next, because we have to try and build on this. After this feel-good 2-1 series win versus South Africa, it's important that we build on this and not just rely on domestic cricket to go forward. Listen, people, let me know what you think about that 2-1 series win. Am I right to be happy? Surely I am. Am I right to think we're moving forward? Because some people will be like, no, it's a fluke match. Am I right to think that this team is moving forward? I said it before the T20 series. I said it when we'd lost 8 of our last 9 matches and the World Cup qualifiers. I said, I think they might be moving forward. Are you buying into that now? Have you got stocks in this West Indies women's team? Let me know in the comments below, people. I've been Machel St. Patrick here, one half the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. You know where to find us by now. What you should do, go onto Google and type in Caribbean Cricket Podcast, and we're on all the social media platforms, apps, etc. Every single one that you can think of. add us, like, share, subscribe. If you'd like to support the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, if you don't want to use the super chat, super thanks function on YouTube, if you don't want to buy us a coffee, which you can do, which is in the descriptor, you can go to www.patreon.com/Carib Cricket. Every little bit helps and counts to keep this show on the road and produce the content that you lot love so much. Listen, I've been Machel St. Patrick Hewitt, one half of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies play Australia in the second test in 2 days' time, so far more content is coming up soon, so stay locked in, and I'll see you then.
West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.